So why do I do this music thing? Why do I do anything? Why does anyone do anything? This video is about deeper purpose, about kind of moving beyond the everyday kind of actions and behaviors that we're taking that are, in a way, virtually mindless. You know, like we come into this world and then we're given all this conditioning growing up by our parents, your religion, society, your culture, all of that stuff, expectations for what you should do, who you should be, and all of that sort of stuff. And we want to fit into that because we're afraid if we don't, that we'll be abandoned or ostracized or whatever. But one of the things I've, been on a journey with is music, and knowing that from a pretty young age, from about the age of 10, that I loved playing music and I wanted to do it, and it really brought me alive. And then getting older, having to kind of get into the adult world, I decided to go and study building design and drafting, and then I went and did that for years, and then was miserable after about 8 years of doing that, because I wanted to be playing music. I wanted to be expressing myself and tapping into what I now believe is my deeper purpose for being alive and being here, which is to be an artist and express myself and help other people to connect with their own emotions and process whatever they're going through. So, deeper purpose is, it's like the key that helps to unlock everything. It helps to guide all of your actions. It helps you to make decisions. It helps you in every situation decide how you consciously want to act in the world. And this is an extremely different way of being alive, of being a human, which is to say, it's an engaged way of being in the world. So when I go, when I'm going about my day doing music stuff, making decisions about what I want to do, even to a day to like moment by moment decisions of what I should be working on. Recently I had to make a decision about choosing a studio, and I went and saw about 10 or 12 different studios and met some great engineers and some really great studio spaces. And then in a way I was kind of spoilt for choice as to where I was going to do it, and it was a really tough decision, and I spent hours and hours and hours going over this decision, because to me it's a really crucial decision. And what it all really came back to was my deeper purpose. How is choosing this studio going to connect with my deeper purpose? How is it going to move me forward with my deeper purpose? My deeper purpose, the phrase that I use, is that I'm here to self-actualize and bloom as the pure creative expression of the universe. So that's like a mouthful of words, and kind of sounds a bit intangible or esoteric or whatever. But basically it means to self-actualize as a human being, reach my full potential as a human being, and express that in the world. So find out what it is and then be that thing. And I believe if everybody did that the world would be a very different place. If we really tapped into our inner power and our inner talents of who we naturally are as human beings, the world would be a very different place, a much happier, more peaceful place, and a more productive place as well. So anyway, that's my deeper purpose statement. So when it came to deciding on a studio, the thing that really helped make that decision was I went into my bedroom, I closed my eyes, I was sitting on the bed, kind of in a meditative position, just sitting upright, And I was visualizing being in the different studios and performing in the different studios, and then repeating that phrase to myself, I'm here to self-actualize and be the creative expression of the universe, and seeing in which location that was most likely to happen. So I went through each studio and just envisioned, do I feel really comfortable there? Will I be able to express myself purely? All of that sort of stuff. And I came out of doing that exercise feeling really clear on where I needed to do this record. So it helps in that instance. But it helps in doing planning, right? Like setting goals and things. Because if you're setting goals that are not aligned with your deeper purpose, then you're totally off track. It's the thing that, it's like your anchor. It's the thing I always come back to when I'm making decisions about setting goals, even gigs I want to do and not do, people I want to play with and not play with. It always comes back to that. So I would highly recommend, highly suggest that you spend time thinking about this and working on it and trying to come up with a phrase that sort of summarizes what you're here for, who you are and what you're here for. So some of the questions you can ask yourself are really basic. Why am I here? What is my life about? How can I best serve the world with my life? How can I be of benefit to the world? What do I really want? So for me, it comes back to, what do I really want in my life? How do I want to live my life? And then the other one is, why am I here? And if this is a new concept to you, this might be quite challenging. And so what I recommend is to go for a walk for an hour in nature, if possible, down at the beach, in a park, in the forest, and take a little notebook with you. Walk for an hour. For the first 45 minutes, all you're doing is walking and asking yourself this question, repeatedly asking yourself this question. Why am I really here? What is this all about? How can I best live my life? But really just repeat, why am I really here? That phrase, just repeat that over and over. And your mind will wander, but just keep bringing it back to that question until you start to have a sense of an answer. And that might take a while. And you might get different answers. And you might think you've struck on the right answer and you want to just stop and write it down. But I highly recommend don't stop to just write it down, because there's often more and more beneath the surface. So do that for 45 minutes. And then for the last 15 minutes, you sit down and you write like a maniac. You just write all of that out. And hopefully there's stuff you've come across that feels like it really resonates with you and feels real to you and feels really honest. And then once you have that, then you basically try to summarize it in a phrase. So what I call a deeper purpose phrase or deeper purpose statement, which is 1 or 2 lines that summarizes all of that, all of why you're really here. Yeah, this is some deep shit, man. Deeper purpose. But it's where it's at. This is the thing that just saves me over and over again whenever I'm making big decisions or, planning my day. This is what it all comes back to. Doesn't get deeper than this, man. So, I highly suggest you go through this process and do it. And even if you do it once and it doesn't feel like you've nailed it, just leave it a week and think about it and then do it again the following week. But this is the kind of work where once you do it and once you nail it, you're pretty much set for life. Things can change, but it will change the trajectory of your entire life, of how you think about things, how you want to engage the world. And people will notice it. People will notice that you're kind of living differently, you're being different, you're thinking different, and it's hugely beneficial to you and the world to do this. So not only would I suggest it, I would actually challenge you to take an hour this week and do it. I'll leave some of the notes in the description below of the questions you can ask yourself and the process I was talking about. You'll also find links to download some of my free music if you want to check that out, and another free resource to help you boost your creativity and tap into your creative potential. So they're totally free in the links below. Check them out and have an awesome day. I'm now going to tap into my deeper purpose by going to the studio and working on songs and work on expressing myself in the world and self-actualizing, because that's where it's at. Have an awesome day. Catch you soon. Bye.